Hari Om to everyone. Welcome to yet another session of Dharma Kshetra. Let us begin with the prayer. Om Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananamalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Vasisthaya Namo Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So we are in Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means the glories of the Lord. So far, what have we done in Vibhuti Yoga is we just went through the first shloka, which is very beautiful. All the shlokas in Vibhuti Yoga are amazing. So we'll just recall the first one and then go to the first selected verse, that is. Yes. This is what we did last time. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddhaha bhava samanvitaha. I am the origin of all creation. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Mattah sarvam pravartate. Everything proceeds from me. Iti matva, knowing this, buddhaha, the wise, bhajante mam. They worship me. How? Bhava samanvitaha, with great love and devotion. So, most of us have bhakti in the Lord. Most of us kind of, accept that everything has come from God and all that. But how many of us live that reality? How many of us make an effort to remember that all the time? Do we do that? To be very frank with ourselves, we go about, on a regular basis, isn't it? To just live with the wonder that everything has come from God, that is bhava samanvitaha. That is the bhava with which these Buddha, the ones who know God in reality, that is how they live on a moment-to-moment basis. Bhava samanvitaha. We don't, generally speaking. We just remember when there's a class on or when we are, with there's an occasion, we just wonder about the glory of the Lord, and we are equally grateful, I'm sure. But that is the difference between the bhava samanvitaha and the regular bhaktas. This bhava samanvitaha people, those who are immersed in the glory of the Lord, they, I believe, I have heard that they even take all their complaints to God, all their little peeves to God. While we tend to gossip with others or complain to our close ones or, talk in our own heads about it, cribbing about little things, these people, the Buddha, they take it to the Lord himself. For example, Ma Sharada Devi, as a very young child, she was married off to Ramakrishna. So he was in Kamarpurkar and she was from a little village called what Bati? Okay. So she had to, at the age of 8 itself, she was married off. And then she hadn't seen him for the longest time because Ramakrishna's people never asked her to come and stay with the husband. And she herself decided when she was like 12 or 13 to walk, to go to Kamarpurkar to join her husband. And those days, of course, they didn't have any transportation like we do now, only some jatka gadi, and the roads were really very bad, kacha, and no lighting. It was dangerous, and it was not as the civilization was not, there was no urbanization basically, and the great stretches were bereft, they were all forest. So this young girl, she travels with great difficulty to Kamarpurkar, where Ramakrishna, her husband, lived. And once she reached there, after a long and arduous journey, she fell sick, and she had to stop. And some Kali Ma, it is said, she came in the form of a sevak, and she took her in and she healed her and then sent her on. So she went through a lot of trouble to reach Ramakrishna's place. And there, Ramakrishna had his niece called Hriday, nephew called Hriday, who was very, very possessive of Ramakrishna, because he used to depend on Hriday for everything. And so this Hriday was very insecure the moment Ramakrishna's wife arrived there. And he just told her, "Why have you come here? You're not welcome. Did anyone ask you to come?" Just dismissed her like that. Given all the trouble this poor lady has taken, waiting for ages to be called, and then taking the trouble of traveling there by herself. So this was the reception she got. And Ramakrishna, strangely, he never supported Sharada Devi either at that point of time. Poor little girl, what will she do? What would we have done? Any one of us would have done. Throw a fit there and then. But this little girl, she went to the temple of Kali, and she told mother, that was her complaint to her mother. You asked me to come here, I have come. Now you are asking me to leave, I will go. You take care of me, mother. That was her prayer. That's all. That is bhava samanvitaha. Even when I get angry, insulted, whatever it is in life, the worst complaints I will take to God. Those are the bhava samanvitaha. Okay. So the next verse, 10.9. We shall chant this. Shall we? Yeah, okay, I will chant this. Mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca. Who wants to chant? Anyone?
I'll chant.
Yes.
Mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca.
Very nice. Correct. Next. Yes, Suma.
Yeah, I can check. Mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Indra?
mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca.
Jayashree? Prasad? Okay, no audio. All right. Shweta? Rao?
Yes, I'll go next. Mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca.
Kathayantaśh mam. Okay, never mind.
No, it's okay. That is kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha. Or should I say it wrong?
This is fine. Okay, Shweta Vadiyar.
Hari Om, Purnimaji.
So shall I, will
Yes,
you?
you repeat it, I'll follow it.
Mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā
mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā
bodhayantaḥ parasparam
bodhayantaḥ parasparam
kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ
kathayaśh mam nityaṁ
nityaṁ tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha
tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha.
Cha in Sanskrit means and.
Okay.
Hmm.
No, I had learned Sanskrit, but the thing is that it's been a long gap for me.
Yeah, me too. Back in college, but now it just that practice, you start reading it and it'll all come back. So what's the meaning? Mach-chittā. Chitta means mind. Where are the minds fixed of these bhaktas? On God. Minds fixed on mat, on me. Mach-chittā. Mad-gata-prāṇā. Their life itself, the life force itself is surrendered to me. Bodhayantaḥ parasparam. Parasparam, among themselves, what do? They talk about me. Kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ. Every time they meet, they exchange stories about me, like we are doing now. And then tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha. Tuṣhyanti, they are so content talking about me. And ramanti, they revel in conversing about my glories. Beautiful shloka, no? mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā bodhayantaḥ parasparam kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ tuṣhyanti cha ramanti cha. What do you want to say about this? Does anybody have to any thoughts about this? So Lord is going on about his glories. His glories include his bhaktas talking about him. How many of us can claim that, people talk about me only when you're in the news, people talk about you. Otherwise, yesterday's headline is today's waste paper, isn't it? So the Lord is not like that. People continuously talk about him. Bhaktas. Any thoughts?
I feel those complaints and those prayers which are made to God, right, directly with that bhava are truly answered.
Yeah.
Like the bhakta wants.
No, like the bhakta wants, I'm not sure about that. The true bhakta will always say, your thy will be done is the refrain of the true bhakta, not my will. So you take care of me. See, as we grow in devotion, as we grow from anya bhakti to ananya bhakti, the rituals will get dropped. You don't have to do the proper Vedic kind of puja, the Shodashopachara puja, and the left hand, the right hand, the direction. All those little things will become very loose. It's the ritualistic puja, you can take it, you can do it, just the bhavana is enough. But in the ritualistic puja, like you said, all the prayers, if they are done very properly, they'll be answered. Tathastu will happen. The beginner kind of bhakta. And as we go in anya bhakti to ananya bhakti, the rituals will drop, but the Lord will take charge more and more and more. Take charge of your wants also. Yoga kshema.
Yeah, okay.
He will know what is yoga and he will know what is your kshema. So like the mother who will withdraw, he will give just one cookie or chocolate to the child. So God will decide when I should give what to you. And that is fine with the bhakta. That is fine. So that is what it is.
Okay.
Raja, you want to chant this? Mach-chittā, mad-gata-prāṇā.
Okay. Can you do it once?
Yeah. Mach-chittā, mad-gata-prāṇā, bodhayantaḥ parasparam, kathayantaśh māṁ nityaṁ, tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca.
Okay, I'll try. mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā, bodhayantaḥ parasparam, kathayantaśh māṁ nityaṁ, tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca.
Okay.
I will also chant.
Yes,
mach-chittā mad-gata-prāṇā, bodhayantaḥ parasparam, kathayantaśh māṁ nityaṁ, tuṣhyanti ca ramanti ca.
very beautiful. Done. Very nice. So, so this described the bhava. So we spoke about bhava samanvitaha. This is the bhava. What is the bhava? What is my bhava all the time? Am I thinking of the world devoid of God, or am I thinking of God? That is what we have to check all the time. But how to think of God? Where is God? Is a question. Where is He not? The vibhuti of the Lord says, I am everywhere and I am everything. Everything in the world reminds us of the divine presence. Swami Vivekananda used to make fun of Ramakrishna, his guru. And so all the other disciples would be aghast. Oh my God, he is making fun of the guru. And so when he was asked, Vivekananda would turn to them and say, then what? I should make fun of you or what? See, even to make fun of something, it has to be God. Nothing less will do. God or Guru alone. That is the bhava that, they have, these people. And mad-gata-prāṇā. Their very life force is dedicated to God. The breathing itself is dedicated to God. Come to think of it, this breathing, that continuous taking in and out of breath, it's a yajna, isn't it? It is a yajna, which is it is a sacrifice happening all the time. The whole universe we had discussed earlier is a sacrifice. It's a great yajna. Sacrifice means not the tyaga, it is a whole homa, bhavana which is happening in the entire universe. The sun, the moon, the stars, the wind, the air, the water, and our own prana. It's a yajna, right? And even all the processes in the body, it's a yajna. Why is this yajna happening? Tell me. For what joy? Is it for me to enjoy the pleasures of the world? There must be a bigger picture. Why this whole grand thing has been organized by God, by the universe, by nature? There must be a reason. This yajna of me being pumped with air in and out. Why is it happening? And who is doing the yajna? God Himself. God Himself. Who else can pump this air, inside my lungs apart from God? Who else can do it? And so why is He doing it? Why is it being done, rather? There has to be a bigger, purpose to all this. That is that mad-gata-prāṇā. My whole entire prana is dedicated to, because God is pumping me with prana, I have to dedicate it to God Himself. Mad-gata-prāṇā. This is the prana has been given to me not to grab at the world with my grubby, greedy hands. That is one level of how you can think about it. Another level, everything is God and me, myself is God. What can I grab? I will not go grab my own, whatever inside my house. I know I'm very comfortable. It's all there for me. What is there to grab? In Ishavasya Upanishad, this is the whole theme. Ishavasya midam sarvam. The whole thing is Isha. Isha means God, Ishvara. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever we see and touch in the world, sense in the world is God. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. How to enjoy this world? Bhunjita is to enjoy. How to enjoy this world? By renouncing, not grabbing at things, but by just letting them be. Knowing fully well that Tena tyaktena bhunjita ma gritah kasyasvid dhanam. Don't ever covet anything of anybody's. Why? Two levels of understanding. Because number one, nothing is mine. Everything is God's. Number two, everything is mine. Either way, you can take it. In either understanding, there is no question of coveting, grabbing, hoarding, envy, being envious, being jealous, being greedy. There is no sense at all. So that is the mad-gata-prāṇā. Everything is mine or everything is God's. So there is nothing to fret, worry about. Okay. So thinking of God should be that natural and it should be relaxing. It shouldn't be a strain. It shouldn't be a strain. It should be so relaxing. To that level, my prana has to be dedicated to God. Not that, Abba, I have to meditate in the morning. Done. Thank God. I have to meditate in the evening. Done. Thank God. Maybe for beginners, that will be the attitude. But then later, it will go on and on and on. Like the same breathing that is happening, I believe it just goes on and on and on from what we have heard from the Mahatmas. And the Mahatmas would ask us, what do you do with your leisure time? Okay, when you're busy with the world, when you're busy with profession, when you're busy with something else, with your cooking and cleaning and taking care of, you have some leisure time. What do you do then? That is what I have to ask myself. What am I doing with my leisure time? Fine, I watch Netflix, over, done. What else? That small gap that I have, my mind should not wander here and there. It should go straight to God. That is how natural it should become. Why? Why should it be like that? Because you never know. Antakana dootarige kintishtu dayavilla. The minions of the Lord Yama, they are merciless. Any moment they will creep in. And then we know what happens. If my mind is not on God at that moment, we know. Antakale chamam, smaran mritya kalevaram. Antakale, what I am thinking at the last minute, that is what I am going to attain. So there is a little anecdote about this monk in the Himalayas, very senior monk. And these guys, they used to be very austere back in those days. And so high up in 10,000 feet or something, they're in a little cave. They have very limited ration with them. And he was very hungry one afternoon, and he collected some ice. Everything was, it was in the middle of winter, maybe this time of the year, December. And it was, he collected some ice, and he put it on a little fire so that it becomes, first it has to thaw, and then the rice has to cook. It takes a lot of time. And this monk was struggling with all this. And at the middle of it, the thought came to him, why am I wasting my time doing all these little things instead of meditating? I'm here in the Himalayas to meditate. And so he just ate the half-cooked ice-cold rice, and he sat for meditation. That kind of mad-gata-prāṇā. These examples are actually very off-putting for us, but that's not the intention. That is to give an example of the dedication these bhaktas have for involving each and every moment in thoughts of God. And then what do? Bodhayantaḥ parasparam. They talk only about God, paraspara. Birds of a feather flock together. When family get-togethers, friendly get-togethers, we talk of what is common interest to all of us. It's common sense. We talk of politics, or we talk of films, or we talk of the latest gossip, whatever. So for these bhaktas, the common topic is God. Bodhayantaḥ parasparam. Always in satsang. And then kathayantaśh mam nityaṁ. Exchange notes. about God always. You know what happened today? I prayed like this, something happened, or whatever. I don't know what kind of dialogues they have among themselves. So that is satsanga all the time. Yes, no thoughts, only I am talking all the time. Okay, we'll do the next sloka also and then we can discuss more on this. Okay, because it's on the same lines.
Purnimaji.
Yes.
So, this is Shweta. So, like how we have exercise groups, we have all these apps to share how many hours I worked out, how many minutes I worked out, there's a lot of things people do as a group to motivate each other, right? So it's just a proposal. I'm not saying everybody should do it, but if you guys are okay on this class, let's just kind of consciously track how many times do we think that we should go back and think about God or meditate or even for like 5 minutes. It's been really difficult for me, but I try my best to do it. But I don't know, like we can improvise how we want to do this. It's not like a challenge or anything, but it is kind of a motivation to let's motivate each other to think about
Wonderful,
the
Shweta.
Lord for let's just set a goal of 5 minutes or 2 minutes for a day.
Yes.
So that gives us like 10 7 days, 14 minutes in 7 days till we meet next time,
Yeah.
right?
Great
So
thought.
I don't
Yeah. It's a wonderful thought. And you are somehow in tune with Prabhuji because Prabhuji is working on a Swadhyaya dairy. You know
oh
what is
really?
Yeah, see, look at that, how we are all connected because we are thinking of him all the time. That's how it
Oh,
works, Shweta.
nice.
This is a demonstration.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Because I was thinking about it, right? Like, we work so many hours. We are, as a lot of us here are younger mothers, or, depending on what stage of life you are, we are busy doing stuff.
true.
I always constantly worry not worry, I think about it, when time comes to go, will I really be thinking about him or will I be thinking about, oh, what am I cooking for? It's just, I keep thinking about it, right? So I don't know how to cultivate that discipline.
Very
I catch myself, I'm washing dishes. I try to think about it more because it's a mundane work, but I want to like think about it and make
That
it
is the
fun,
best.
especially
That's the
cooking.
best time to think of the Lord, no? When the mechanically, when you can do things, the conscious mind
Mm,
can go to God easily.
yeah. I
There's
just
a
want to ask my classmates today in this class here with you, Purnimaji, to see if anybody's interested. And when we come back, the first thing we start off is like just 14 minutes. Did we hit 14 minutes or not? Or even 7 minutes, right? 1 minute a day is what. Let's just build our resistance. And like running for a marathon. You can't run a marathon without slowly building towards that. So that's what I was thinking for this class.
Yeah, sure.
But how do we
It's a great thought, actually. Purnimaji, I would like to share something. Every year I sit and write my resolutions, and I'll be on that every year. And most of them I achieve, and which is not achieved, I'll take forward to the next year. So this time I had made a column for spiritual resolution. So
Very good.
there I have written like whenever in your classes you are telling, whenever you are free, just keep off your things away and just think about God. So I have been practicing this like whenever I'm free, or the kids are not around, or I'm
Correct.
totally absolutely free, I do this at
Very good.
least for a minute. I started with 1 minute now.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
And also while driving, also I do this. I
Yeah,
just keep remembering, the thoughts about, what I want to, my thoughts are about God. So
very.
just keep, telling to myself, and I believe that the universe will give back the same things to us.
That is called nididhyasa. Talking
Yeah.
and thinking about
So,
God, either
so
in
like
this or that. Yes.
last week we discussed about this, right? Like God, it's not an object sitting somewhere or something. It's like experience. So everything you just count your blessing every day from morning till night. If you just count your blessing, you're just thinking of God. That's it. That's how I'm thinking.
Yes.
Oh, it's nice. Mm.
Neha, you were saying something?
Yeah. So, I mean, there are many instances, right? When we just think about God and when we surrender to Him, when we just dedicate our problems, whatever little things that we face day in and out. But how do we track all of them?
How do we track? That's what this Swadhyaya Dairy is all about. I'll give you a overview. It just, it's more about that fire, See, it's not just talking or thinking about God. It's my behavior the rest of the day.
Mhm.
That should reflect the divinity in me. Vivekananda's famous quote. Spirituality, life is all about, expressing the divinity which you're all about, which is you.
Mhm.
So how do I express my divinity? See, sitting and meditating, thinking of God is one stream, which I do at my leisure time. Divinity andre idu FIRE. I have shared that many
Yes.
times. How is my behavior? Suppose I identify my weakness, maybe anger. I am easily inflammable, excitable. Anything, somebody says anything, immediately I get irritated and I say something. And that at that moment it'll hurt the other person also. Then I'll regret that's also there. But how do I check that, Andre? The frequency of my irritation, F, I intensity of the irritation, R recovery time, and E is emotional disturbance. Anta. To the
Yes.
every time I do this, I have to be conscious. How frequently did I get irritated today? Make a note. And
Uh-huh.
what was the intensity? Oh, I recovered within 5 minutes. Put it down.
Okay.
Something.
Okay.
Intensity was on a scale of 1 to 10. Maybe we start off with 10, then it will keep coming down 9, 8, 7. Intensity not much. Recovery time, earlier 2 days, now 1 day, half a day, half an hour. Emotional disturbance, does it affect your other work? Track of our own minds and behaviors that way. That is the Swadhyaya Dairy.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So it
among
is with respect to one attribute like irritability, Adhana, or is it like
no.
general?
Whatever I feel in me that I should have not done this ಅಂತ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೂನು ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು
Okay.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Nice. Very nice.
There is no rule ನಮ್ಗೇನೆ our conscience is our best teacher ಅಲ್ವಾ.
Yes.
There are satsangis, we know.
We know our weaknesses also, right?
Know our weaknesses and we know what is dharma and what is adharma by now. And we know that it's not being a doormat either. See, remember the life of Krishna. He is the best. What would Krishna do? Write it. Christians have no just do anta. Atara now, what would Krishna do? He was not a doormat. He just took decisions when it was right. He would take the right decision. He will tell Arjuna, now, Karna, time for Karna to go. Let him go. Ashte. He will not even look at the propriety. But we can't do such things because we are not avatars. However, we have a decision. Not being a doormat, not just giving in. We will be firm and we will respond the way it should be done. We know how to do it, actually. It is all there. So, adanna
Okay.
ನಾವು ಹೋಗೋದಷ್ಟೇ. Yes, Shweta, Vadiyar.
Yeah, I would like to tell something. This is my own experience. 10 years back, okay, if something happens in, with any person with me, like a fight or, if any, disagreement is happening. So I used to have a prolonged, not to talk to that person or, not, I'll not, forgive this person. Later on, one of my friends suggested me that, if you do this, you yourself are hurting. So better that, just use this word in your mind, forgive. So I started using the word whenever, I'm angry on any person, I just tell to myself, forgive this person, move on.
Very beautiful.
So, and give unconditional love to every single person. This is what I have written and I have kept. and I channelize my, mind, like, I made a note. Anyways, any phone has note in it, right? So whenever something is triggering my mind, or, I'm getting into annoying mode, I just make a note out of that. Why am I getting annoyed? The minute I note it
Point.
down, it's gone. It is out of my head. So
See,
this is what, my parents also tell me that 10 years and now you're so much changed.
wonderful, Shweta. You have cracked it, really. So
Yeah.
I think all of us have got some tricks like that. No?
True.
Shared one trick that you have. I
Yeah.
have one. I will ask myself, tomorrow by this time, will this bother me? Will it matter to me? 24 hours later, will it matter to me? Or next week at this matter, will it matter to me? Or next year by this will it matter? That is the scale. Then invariably the answer is no. And then immediately all that thing will go down. Because I know everyone's mind is changing. My mind is also a monkey. Other one mind is also a monkey. Nobody is going to be the same all the time, isn't it? So that is my trick. I'm sure all of us have got that little tricks. Can you all please share how to get out of an unpleasant?
Yeah, for me, like before reacting, I keep listening to all this Krishna's, like one of the verse where like you put a comma just for a second, just stop, don't react immediately. Put a comma, think just for a second and then react.
So beautiful.
Sometimes ignorance, like you keep listening to the other person, just ignore. Yeah.
Jana Kividu, it is called in.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Any more? Any others you want to share? How do you deal with it? How you
Yeah.
do yourself? Yeah. That's
Okay, so for me, it is like what has helped me the most is to imagine a kavacha around me.
Ah,
It just reflects. It reflects, Allah.
Flex,
It just pushes it back. Whatever is coming externally gets pushed back, and without my permission, nothing can enter me.
very beautiful.
That has helped me immensely, actually.
Beautiful, Sneha.
Yes,
I liked it.
thank you. I learned this in the inner engineering, Isha.
See, all of us can learn so much with if each of us share like this. Yes, Padmaja.
It is like having any negative feelings, let it be jealousy, envy, whatever is that, anger, frustration. It is something like, we drink the poison and expect the other person to die. Adu agalla. So
Very
that
nice.
one thing is there in my mind. So better not to get it because unknowingly we are drinking the poison anta. Atara. So
that is very wise thing to do. Very nice. Very
negative feelings for someone else, we keep it, it will indirectly affect us only. So peda.
Anger will burn me first before
Before it goes to anyone else. So the drinking the we drink the poison expecting the other person to die andre agalla. So
actually the namge jaasti adar bagge, maybe the other person is also a Bhagavad Gita fan and that person will forgive and forget, but I will be suffering here,
True.
True. Correct. Shweta, Rao, any tricks?
Actually, I do the same thing for Nimaji. I think, is this going to be important in 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, tomorrow,
Houdu.
and in an hour, right? And then I also, what Sneha does, right? Like how she explained Kavacha makes sense. I call it a barrier, right? Like the aura or the barrier. That's how I call it. And I literally have to like let it enter inside. If not, I will. It's I have the power over my
Correct.
own reaction. Is how I look at it.
Right.
So I like the way she explained it, but again, it depends, right? I also think, is this my family? Is this my husband, my children? Who is this person, right? If it is really an outsider, if I let that bother me, then I'm diluting my own self because that is honestly affecting me more. Then I'm the loser here. So I used to be super sensitive growing up, And then slowly I had to build different techniques to build that kind of a barrier around me. And then, one of my friends actually taught me about it.
Very good.
She actually in college, she was a psychology professor, and she kind of talked about it, and it made sense. And since then, I use it as like a barrier around me.
Good.
And so that's how I look. That's how I cope with
It
it.
protects me, but protects my environment also. I'll stop poisoning the environment around me if my behavior is corrected. Very correct. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say. That I have been noticing that my immediate environment and the people I frequently come in touch with are also calm,
Ade.
and I'm able to see the reality, if I may say so. I mean, I'm able to understand the other person better. Why is it that he or she is behaving like this? And also see the bigger picture, take things forward. What I can do to alleviate, it really gives me the wisdom to exactly take action, take action.
Very good.
So this kavacha concept has really helped me. And yesterday I also shared it with a friend of mine who was in a little bit of a distress, and when she called me, I hope it's helping her too.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It makes sense. And
Yes.
so,
And then,
instead of just
and then,
sorry,
finish it. No, finish, Mari. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
This kavacha is a beautiful word, which is so many stotras. That's the idalva Rama Raksha Kavacha.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let that kavacha be God kavacha, so that ಅದು ಬರೀ ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಮ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಟರಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Now you embellish that kavacha with a lot of Rams and Krishnas, divinity, golden
Divinity. Yeah.
So Sadhguru, the way he explained this was, exactly, I got it. I was able to articulate now after so many years of after listening to his lectures, right? So that's what he said. Unless you give permission for something to enter you, it won't enter. So this kavacha is actually a reality. We make holes in it.
We are the ones who have made a lot of holes in it. Correct.
So someone was
buttons that triggers. We give the buttons to others to push. Why do you have so many buttons that people can push? It is stupid.
So he says somebody in the audience in which he is giving that lecture, right? They stand up and ask, I have an exploitative husband or something like that. How do I deal with it? So he says, whatever feelings you get, right? Whatever you feel, whether you feel anger or irritation or frustration, you are responsible for it. You are creating it, he says.
Very difficult to accept, but that's the truth.
Yes.
Yeah. I was about to say that actually. I'm glad you said that because I truly feel I have the power to control the situation, right? If somebody is being mean to me, you have the power to reverse it or figure out how do you diffuse it. That's how diffuse is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
And no, I think I heard about that from one of my friends last few years ago. It kind of made me angry when I heard that stuff, but it literally made me angry, and I said whatever is what my answer was. But I think he's a student of Sadhguru too. That's what it was, that the inner engineering course. I think that it makes sense now what you're saying now. But he said when he said that, I said yeah, whatever, like it's like useless conversation is what I told him. And I said, now that you're angering me, then he said, see, you're getting angry because of my conversation. So this is exactly what I mean. I was like, I had to literally take a pause for a second. Like Suma said, probably put a comma, pause. I was like, I said, I'll get back to you on this because right now I can't deal with you. I'm really irritated, is what I told him. So that kind of makes sense, actually. So But I think we truly control the I'm not saying every time, of course people are drunk, people are under the influence of drugs, whatever, right? That's something out of our control. But I'm just talking about in common situation. We invoke
Hello.
the sometimes we invoke that reaction in people, right? So that's
Hello.
what we can control.
ಹೌದು.
Hello.
Yes.
Recently, in one of the Shakti Darshana classes or Atma Darshana classes, Prabhuji said, whenever an argument or something is happening, become aware of where it is hurting in your body. Maybe your throat is tightening, your heart is tightening. See where it is affecting your body. Become aware of your body. Don't, after listening, just when it is going on, become aware where it is hurting of your body and let go at that point and start breathing to that point. It won't affect you.
Thank you.
Viva, recently,
That's
do
super.
you hear it?
ಹೌದು, but you recalled it just at the right moment. Thank you so much.
ಅಮ್ಮ
ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ ಚಂದ್ರ.
ಅದೇನೆ ಇವಾಗ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಸ್ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದೇ ಸೇ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ, ಹೌ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್.
ಹೌದು.
ಸೊ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಮೀ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇಕು ನಾವೇನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು.
ಹೌದು.
ನಾವ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ ಅದು ದುಃಖ ಆಗತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನ್ ತಪ್ಪಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ನಾವ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಅದೆಲ್ಲಾನು, ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರೋದೇ ಅನ್ಭವ್ಸೋದು.
ಆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು.
ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪೇನ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್.
ಆಯ್ತು. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
I think Purnima, any situation is there. I think we have to follow RAR policy. RAR andre you can react. When anger bandre, I can also show my anger. That's react. The other one is I don't do anything. I absorb. I'll take it up. Whatever you're shouting at me, okay, you shout at me. I'm not saying anything. That means I'm absorbing. Or the last R is respond. See what best I can do to understand and then change the situation to the best of my ability. Because the situation is not dependent on the other person, but on myself, what I can do my best.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
Or respond. What should I do anta? That is in my hands.
ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. So beautiful. All the tips. I like it. Yeah. Very nice. ಇನ್ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
Sorry, what was the first R? Respond, action, and then react. Is that what you said, Padmaja?
First one was react alva?
Yes, react or you absorb or respond.
So reaction is doing all the time. So be
sorry.
Reaction is more on compulsive behavior, whereas respond is more on the conscious behavior.
Reaction is vasanas, the compulsive and unconscious.
Vasanas, correct.
Haudu. So yeah, I think we have all grown so much and we have become wiser also. Life has also taught us. And thanks to all the inputs by the guru and all that, we are kind of in control, I guess. So most of the time, this absorb is the best, Don't say anything.
Absorbing should not happen at the cost of suffering. That is important. Absorb ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು suffer ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು.
Suffer ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. Absorb ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಥವಾ ಕವಚ. ಕವಚ is also good. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡತ್ತೆ. ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬು ಬೇಡ. So here ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ.
Just one more point I wanted to add to this.
Shared. Yes, Indra. Yes, tell.
And this RAR, one more point is that we need not repeat the same situation or same things what happened. Even the self-talk, or we keep telling others, even the closest relatives, closest people also, this happened, that happened. We should stop telling the things what happened.
Beautiful point. Don't recall it also. Haudu. Very, very beautiful point. The moment you repeat it, it means it's already in your subconscious mind and you want to bring it out again. You're retaining it at some point. Correct heldri. You're very correct, Indra. Don't even repeat it to anyone. Very beautiful.
Even to self-talk, even when consciously we can stop it. It keeps coming. The mind is like, it triggers you. When we consciously stop it, we are able to do it.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Chanagide. Lovely tips.
That's wonderful. Actually, think about it. If somebody scolded you, keep thinking about it and telling that means they scolded you 100 times. But how
Yes.
many ever times you repeat?
Sati,
So
yaro donkey
that's so
ante.
nice.
I call
Yeah.
myself donkey 1,000 times. Correct.
ಹೌದು.
But
So
as a
nice.
Call just once, but we keep thinking he will tell 100 times.
ah, that's a beautiful joke he always keeps making. He says, somebody calls you donkey, you take it so seriously. I'm telling you, you're Brahman, you don't take it seriously. You take that seriously, no? That you're Asanga, you're not affected, you're Brahman, you're God. How many times I have to tell you? You don't take that seriously. But
No,
somebody,
Purnima, we are taking it seriously, Purnima.
now we are
Whatever you
all
are saying.
taking it seriously. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it just think about it. It's common sense. Why don't we take that seriously? You're God, you're everything, you're one with God ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾತಕ್ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ದೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ we go back to this human behavior conditions. These are lifetimes of conditioning. Yesterday I was listening to a talk again. Prabhuji was saying Buddha was asked he could remember his lifetimes antala. Buddha was an enlightened man and he could recall all his lifetimes, and he once told his disciples, the number of janmas I have taken, if you join the bones of all my bodies that I have taken, they will go around the earth several times or something, some horrible figure, that many janmas, that many bodies he had taken. And then, the bones, if you pile it up, it will be taller than the Himalayas. Ashtu janmagulu. And the number of tears I have shed, it will be a bigger river than the Ganga. So imagine the vasanas that we have been burdened with through lifetimes. It is no joke that we have come to this point, just appreciate that. It is not at all a joke that we are in satsang and we are listening to this. That means we are really come a long way. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Krishna says, after many years of lifetime, we will come to even hear of my name. So we are in a good place. So thank you for all the tips. We can use all that. And definitely. And one more story which has impressed me to a great extent is about a Mahatma. Okay. One Mahatma, in a little village, there was this sadhu who was quietly living all by himself. He wouldn't talk much at all. He was just going about his business. Once a girl and a boy in the village, and they fell in love and they got into a relationship, and the girl became pregnant. And she was scared. She was horribly scared of her parents and the stigma around it, and what the village will banish her. So when the parents asked her, what happened to you? Who did this to you? She took the name of that Mahatma. Avare madiddu. So the dumb villagers, the dumb parents, immediately they go, take that girl to that Mahatma's hut and say, you take care of her. You did this to her. You take care of her. The fellow, and they beat him up also, black and blue. How dare you? And that fellow just kept quiet. He didn't say anything, absorbed. Or maybe he deflected. I don't know. He just kept quiet. Then he didn't even defend himself. He didn't even deny, nothing he did. And so he took care of that girl. Neeta papa banantana ella maadi, basri ella. Then he got the baby. The baby was also born, and he was taking care of the mother and child also. And this girl was so ashamed of her behavior and so transformed by this fellow's attitude that she herself confessed to the villagers and the parents, no, he didn't do anything to me. It was this other person who was responsible for the baby, and it was our decision. It is not his fault also. Then she confessed. Then they all come in and fall at the feet of the Mahatma. Oh, sorry, kshamasbidi, tappagoitu and all that. That time also, no reaction. ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಗಳನ್ನ, ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. See? What behavior? I mean, ಮೈಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಬಂದ್ಯಾ ಬಾ ನೋಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ, ಹೋಗ್ದ್ಯಾ ಹೋಗು, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. that kind of detachment and nonchalance towards everything. ಬೈತಿಯಾ ಬೈ, ಹೊಗಳ್ತಿಯಾ ಹೊಗಳು, ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? how wonderful to live like that. So that is always sometimes I remember that Mahatma and said, okay, you want to abuse me, abuse, no, what to do? Tomorrow you will only feel bad about it, that's all. Yes, that is what I wanted to share. I guess we'll take the next shloka the next week. Thank you all. Then we can close for the day.
Purnima, I think you told the same story a year ago. I think the beginning of Dharma Kshetra sessions.
Okay.
Avaglunu, the question in me was, so the response may not be the reaction. The response should have been, I mean, he could have said it, right? I'm not responsible. I mean, he could have said it in a calm way.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ತೋಚತ್ತೋ ಹಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ he had reached that kind of ಚಿತ್ತಪ್ರಜ್ಞತ್ವ that he didn't bother ಅಷ್ಟೇ. It didn't bother him. The outer reality is like a dream to him ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆ ತರ he was at that stage. ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಹಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ್ ಕತೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಯಾರು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ನೋ, ಅವನೇ ಬೇರೆ, ರಾಮನೇ ಬೇರೆ, ಕೃಷ್ಣನೇ ಬೇರೆ. They all give you models on, according to your ಸ್ವಭಾವ, you can behave the way you want. ರಾಮ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ? ರಾಮ ಯಾತಕ್ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಬೈಲಿಲ್ಲ? ಅವನ್ಗೆ ಅವನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ದೋಬಿ, ನಿನ್ ಹೆಂಡತಿ. why he didn't say? His response was different. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ್ ತಲೆನೇ ಸುದರ್ಶನ್ ಚಕ್ರ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಿದ್ದ. I don't know.
They all, just out of curiosity, I want to know how was there a transformation on the boy who was responsible for the pregnancy?
ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಅದ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. All the villagers came and apologized, so I am guessing the boy also. And the boy, probably the parents accepted that, maybe it was not a good match, that maybe it was some caste thing which they didn't want the boy and girl to get married, whatever. So ಎಲ್ಲಾರು transform ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು because of the Mahatma. That's a good thing to the story.
Okay, nice.
At that particular point,
ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ.
At that particular point, the Mahatma was maybe thinking that the girl wanted to save her skin. Sumne then, if he says no, the girl would get it again. So he didn't want him to maybe get into that. For him, it doesn't matter.
For him, it doesn't. He didn't give it importance at all. He said, okay, this girl and child has come to my house, I will take care of them. Okay, my job is over, they will go now. That degree of, detachment is so beautiful. How we should treat life, yeah? ಬಂದದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಲಿ, ಗೋವಿಂದನ ದಯೆ ಒಂದಿರಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಬರ್ಲಿ. See, again, last week also we shared this quote. Eckhart told, every situation you have asked for it. Nothing comes to your doorstep without you asking for it. You decide how you want to deal with it. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರೋದೇ ಇದು. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಹಾತ್ಮರೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದೇನೆ ಟು ಶೋ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಹೌ ಟು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವತಾರಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ದ ವೇ ದೇ ಡೂ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್ us this is how it is ಅಂತ. So like all of us shared, each of us have a trick. Let us strengthen that. I think we are all on the in the right going in the right direction.
Nice.
All right. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಓಂ ಅಸತೋ ಮಾ ಸದ್ಗಮಯ ತಮಸೋ ಮಾ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಗಮಯ ಮೃತ್ಯೋರ್ಮಾಮೃತಂಗಮಯ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. ಲೋಕಾಃ ಸಮಸ್ತಾಃ ಸುಖಿನೋ ಭವಂತು. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.